On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at the 2020 Electra Townie Go 7D. This is the first electric bike being reviewed on the channel. It's snowing. What a day to look at an electric bike. But we're going to have some fun. We're going to go over some of the features and designs of this Electra bike. We're also going to take it for a ride because if we've got some snow, we got to feel what the e-bike feels like. But before we do that, let's go over some features and design on this bike. And of course, we'll find out what it weighs. The Electra Townie has been around for a really long time. And this just happens to be an electric version of it. So the Electra Townie is known for its seat tube to pedal positions, and that allows the bike to actually have a saddle height that's proper where your foot is flat on the ground. So that makes the bike real nice and confident to ride on. It's also going to mean that the position is going to be really upright because you're leaned a little bit further back. Your handlebars are up, and that's going to make for a very comfortable position. Now, one of the claim to fames in this bike is actually going to be its pricing. So this particular bike, at least, is getting released in 2020 at $1,500, which is pretty inexpensive for a name brand e-bike. This e-bike also happens to be a class 1, which means it's a 20 mile per hour e-bike, pedal assist only. So there's no throttle, but that means that it's going to classify under that class 1 condition, which means in most areas it's considered just a bike. To look at the bike a little bit further, Townie is going to be an aluminum frame, really nice looking frame. The welds and everything that are on here are actually quite nice. It's made out of 6061 T6 aluminum, which is pretty standard, running in a steel high tensile steel fork in this nice matte black color. As you can see, it is a disc brake bike. And then the handlebar is going to be a real high rise aluminum handlebar that's running a 25/4 clamp on a Quill stem. So a little bit more standard or basic parts for the headset here, but that means you're going to have adjustable height to it, and it's fitting with the character of this type of bike. Now for drivetrain, the 7D refers to the fact that it's 7 speeds and it's got a derailleur. So you've got this Tourney TY 7-speed rear derailleur running with a Shimano 7-speed 14 to 34 cassette, and it's operated on the handlebar with a Shimano Revo shifter. So this is a twist shift 7-speed shifter, has mechanical disc brakes, so you're going to have these nice alloy levers that are operating 160 millimeter rotors on the front and the rear of the bike with mechanical calipers. Now for tires on the bike, this is running 27.5 inch by 2.35 tires. These tires are actually the Electra Balloon tires, so it's kind of a retro look, smooth setup to it. And then the crank is actually going to be set up on something relatively unique. This is a forged alloy crank, 170 millimeter crank arms with a 42 millimeter FSA chainring, and it's going to have a double chain guard to it, so you can see that the chain is actually pretty well protected back there, which is a nice thing to see for sure. And then the bottom bracket is actually a T47. So this is a pretty unique setup because that's a much larger threaded bottom bracket, and that's going to push the pedal power through to the Hydrive 250 watt hub motor. So the hub motor on this bike is pretty nice. Hydrive is actually a Taiwanese company that specializes in OEM motors for companies like Electra. And that 250 watt motor is going to be a class 1 style. So like we said before, it's going to push the bike to 20 miles per hour. But it actually measures the output from your pedals to actually control how fast and how much boost comes in on the rear. Now, the battery is rack mounted. It comes off using a key, but it does allow you to charge it on the bike or off of the bike. And it's a 309 watt hour battery, which means that this bike is going to have anywhere between about 20 to 50 miles of range or 32 to 80 kilometers of range. Now, on the front of the bike, you're going to have your controller. This is going to have both the on-off switch as well as the adjustment for power. So you've got this power button there, which you can push on. Blue lights are going to indicate the charge level of the battery, and then you've got an up-down arrow that simply adds or takes away power. So you can see 3 levels, and then that's going to allow you to have all the performance that you need, all the power out of the bike. So that way on level 3, you're going to be able to really crank up some hills. Back down on level 1 is more or less just going to offset some of the extra weight of this bike. So now that we've taken a look at some of the features, let's go ahead and take it for a ride. All right, so we're going to start the ride on the e-bike here. We've got no pedal assist, just pedaling around. And we'll take a look at that here. And let's go ahead and give it 1 up push. All right, so you can definitely feel the push, the little extra power that comes on. As we go through, hit 2, ooh, lots of power. And then 3, and we're cruising. So in the 3rd power level pedaling, this has some crazy power to it. Has no problem picking up speed, going up a little bit of a hill here, and man, it's doing well. So now I'm gonna push off from the 3rd power level, and it takes off. Might be a good idea to start this in a little bit lower power level. But let's go to the other side, use the shifter. Shifter operates pretty nice. Just a standard Shimano twist shifter, so nothing much to talk about here, but it works out well. And your hand brakes do stop well. So that's a look at how this bike rides. So the actual weight for this e-bike comes in at 49.12 pounds. In this video on the 2020 Electra Townie Go 7D. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and of course, leave that thumbs up. It lets me know you enjoyed the video.